Hoi there, it's Skyward Shield. Welcome to Football Talks. We're at week 3, and we're going to talk about some controversial stuff today. So, I
Oh,
guess
jeez.
trigger warnings for abuse, domestic violence. What am I, Tumblr? Whatever. Anyway, Bill's here again today. Say hello, Bill.
Yo.
We were coming off of a talk about politics and stuff and reform, so it's fitting. The first thing
Oh,
on our
man.
list is, well, the recent news. We went from, I think, back in the preseason stuff where we talked about how Michael Sam is going to perhaps make an impact because of him being the first openly gay NFL star to
Right.
take the field. So now we're going to go to another a bigger, the one that is actually controversial and needs discussing: domestic violence.
Correct.
So Bill, do you want
Eh,
to open up about this, or should I?
I'll start, and I'll say this is
Explain this.
that
Well, explain the situation for those who might not know, just
well,
in case.
well, basically Ray Rice in February kicked the crap out of his girlfriend in an elevator, uh, which was caught on video. There was multiple videos of it, and he was seen dragging her out of an elevator,
But that was the
which
first one we
is
saw, right? We didn't actually see the punching until now.
correct. Correct. We didn't see it.
Yeah, because when I
He,
first saw this, I thought like, wait, didn't we see this already? But
he
then
was
the what?
he was only seen dragging her out. But
Yeah,
the new video that surfaced, which oh
it's
that is
absolute proof. You can't
it's
go in there pleading not guilty. You
it's
can't.
it's it's just hard to watch. He just clocks her right in the face, and it is sickening. It is a disgrace, and it's just a horrifyingly bad thing. And what irks me, and what irks me the most, is that no one has taken that video seriously. The NFL knew about it. The
Goodell
pros
knew about it.
Goodell, by extension, knew about it. The
Hmm.
prosecutor's office, who let him get away with this, knew about it. He's only in some stupid counseling or whatever. He cold cocked her right in the face, and you let him off without. I mean, oh, well, it's his first offense. I don't care.
That's jail time all the same. Maybe not 20 years in
If
prison, but still maybe a year or two in prison.
a a year or two, it's time as a country. It's time as a country to finally have a real, meaningful conversation about this, because it is despicable, it is wrong, and it should not happen in society. It needs to stop. We just let a 215-pound running back just punch his uh, fiance, going to be a wife, in the face, and nothing happened except for, oh, you get a slap on the wrist.
I wouldn't even call that a slap.
It, well, it's more like, maybe a pinch on the wrist. Oh, it's so pinchy. But I mean, it's it is an absolute travesty of justice that he is still walking around a free man and has not
There's
been charged with a crime.
It gets worse, but I forgot to ask this before we started recording, but can I talk about the Adrian Peterson case? I know you want to jump on the Vikings ass, but this is something I feel I should talk about since he said he's from Texas, and it's kind of fitting that a Texas person should discuss this.
Okay.
But just let me say that makes this worse. When I was seeing, I didn't see that game, but I was seeing some news about it and discussions. There are re- remember this, imprint this in your mind, imprint this bullshitness in your mind. There are women defending Ray Rice. Women are defending him, saying it was okay that he clobbered his wife. For what? For what?
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard
That
in my
is
life.
not stupid. That is insane, illogical, apathetic bullshit. That is despicable. I can go on, Bill, but I'm not going to.
It'd be like you going and getting punched in the face and saying that someone else goes, well, you had it coming, and like a bunch of your own gender saying, well, yeah, he had it coming. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy. How many people die after getting their face cracked? And seriously, she could have, if he hit her the right way, she could have had a brain hemorrhage. She could have, anything. She could have died in that elevator.
Mm-hmm. I thought she did when I first saw that. I thought this was a murder case.
She was out cold. There is no reason that he is out free and not in jail, period. Period.
I thought that domestic violence in NFL, you do it once, you're out for good.
Nope. 2 games, and that's the other issue I have with it, is that it's a 2-game suspension, and I just watched the interview today where he didn't even Goodell said that he didn't even see the video and the new video until it came out, which directly contradicts a bunch of stuff, and that they asked to see the video. That directly contradicts both Ray Rice, who was apparently upfront with Goodell and said that he hit her in the elevator, which by extension from seeing the original footage, you would be able to tell in the first place. She goes into the elevator on one video and then comes out the elevator and collapse. I wonder what happened. I mean, it doesn't take, a genius to see what happened.
Do we really need to have the court process take so long? I mean, people have the right to a quick and speedy trial, right? That means you can have a trial like virtually right away if you want.
In the end, this case should have went to trial, and
it should be happening right now. I don't see what's taking it so long. What's there to look at? In the case of this, there is indefinite evidence. You could, what is it, like you're throwing the red flag, the challenge flag? What's there to challenge? The ref won't have to take a look at it. He will just say, it's confirmed. He punched her. End of story. Guilty as charged.
There's video evidence, and that goes on to my next point is, what is the district attorney in that area thinking? What is he thinking? How is that allowable in society? So if let's say a non-celebrity goes and punches his wife.
Oh, he's gone. He's going to be persecuted.
He's immediately going to jail, but since it's Ray Rice,
he's a star.
He should go and get these classes.
He should be in jail and get those classes.
He should just be flat out in jail where he belongs. But that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I've seen other opinions, and I welcome looking at other people's opinions. It's always it's a hot button issue.
Yeah, but you need to go at this calm. I know it's bad, and yes, you have the rights to be emotional, and you should be. But at the same time, use that emotion right. If you're going to be hasty and just start persecuting everybody that's a male, because I have seen Like, oh, another example why all males are bad and you should never hang around them. It's like, what? I personally won't
Uh,
tolerate this shit. I see a guy punching a girl, I'm gonna go punch him and tell her to run away. Call the cops. I'm not a fighter, but I'm at least gonna not let that
it's
shit slide.
it's just there's so many there's so many angles to this. It's not even
Yeah, but we
funny.
shouldn't look at this with an extreme view. We need to look at this calmly, rationally, and find out the best solution that works so that way
In
men won't
in
hurt
the
women, and women will be more happy because they deserve to be happy. They're women. I'm not just saying
every
that because I'm a guy. It's flat out
every
simple.
everyone hurts everyone in one way or another, you know. And in the end, this issue needs to be addressed. It needs to be societally addressed because there's been all sorts of anti-woman rhetoric, and since for the last 3 years, 4 years, there's been that anti-woman rhetoric that's been coming out of a more right-wing sense, and it's poisoning young minds in this country. And well, oh, it's okay. She should go make me a sandwich. Fuck that stupid bullshit meme. That's an idiotic thing to say.
You can make your own sandwich, and if she wants to make you a sandwich, she'll make it of her own will.
That
She'll say, "Are you hungry? You want to eat something? Sure. How
that
about I
is
make us some sandwiches? That's okay."
that is the most idiotic view to take.
What,
And
me?
it's no, not you. The 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 general, that crazy right wing view. Oh well, that's where they belong, in the kitchen.
Yeah, so they can kill you with
So
the knives.
I'm so sick and tired of it. You know, I just want everyone to be treated with equal and perfect respect for each other. And that's part of what's good about this, is that we can have a discussion, and everyone deserves respect. And that's all I want to say, is
I
that
agree.
everyone deserves respect, and that, you know, I have a sister, and if that was my sister in that elevator, that would be the most heartbreaking thing of all time. You
Uh,
know,
Well, Bill, since that's your sister, that would also be the most aggravating, because I know you were going to go on and go punch Ray Rice.
Ray Rice, he's lucky, you know, there wasn't other people around. He had to hide in an elevator to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do that right in front of everybody. He waited until he was in an elevator like a coward
Yep.
to do that.
I don't know, but you are right. We do need to approach this calmly and carefully, so that way we get the best response for everybody, but especially women, of course. But also, if we can make sure and do what we can to help, so men, especially if they have anger issues, because everybody can have some type of stress, anxiety, anything, and prevent that from happening, minimize the chances. Everybody
There
will
should be
be benefiting from it.
zero tolerance for battery of men or women in this country.
Yeah, and that's why
Period.
we need to
Both
treat
sides.
any of that, because people's stresses have never been higher right now. But I mean, this relates to something personal that happened to me last night, but I'm not going to talk about that because that's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, I know what you mean, Bill. But do you want? Can we talk about the most recent case before we go to Adrian Peterson, the cardinal that just got?
Jonathan Dwyer. No, there's another prime example of a person that deserves to go to jail.
He
and
did it even
should
worse.
Go to jail.
He hit his kid too.
It. I just don't get. I could never. I don't see where these people are coming from. I just don't get it.
It's like, the expression, with great power comes great responsibility. This being a football player does not mean you have a lot of power. In the end, especially in the court of law, you're a normal person. Your
Getting
status shouldn't mean shit.
knocking out. I just he broke his girlfriend's nose or his wife's nose.
And he hit his kid too, and then he threatened to tell if they called 911. Not them himself. He threatened, like, I'd kill myself.
I
Go ahead.
it just don't. I I just can't fathom. I just can't fathom how anyone can support him. You know.
I'm not supporting him, but that should have been obvious. We're not supporting any of
Correct.
these guys. But I mean, it's the same stuff we've been saying with Ray Rice. It's similar, right?
It's a very similar case. It's just a little bit more extreme, but in the end, it's the exact same thing. No matter what, you should never resort to physical violence. The best relationships always come down to having a working understanding and talking to each other. You know,
It's like I said to you earlier. I'd rather have the best understanding above the best expression, or
right,
ability
right.
to express myself. Because even if I can't express myself as well, they'd understand at least where I'm coming from, and I understand them. People.
Dwyer.
What?
I just hope that Dwyer gets the book thrown at him because he deserves it.
For stuff like this, if you're fighting, you shouldn't actually resort to violence ever. You should talk it out, and if you believe there is no way to resolve this, it's better to cut the ties while they're still not at past that point. He's like, you know what, it won't work, maybe we should go our separate ways if it's better for both of us and no one will be harmed. You end it, you leave it at that. It'll hurt, but that pain at least isn't going to afflict others. You know what I mean?
Right. Jonathan Dwyer needs going to prison, and anything less than prison is a failure of the justice system.
Mm-hmm. This is his first offense, right?
It's his first offense, but it still doesn't give anyone I don't care if it's your first offense. That gives you no.
I'm not saying you shouldn't go to jail. No.
Right.
But
it gives you no reason to ever do that.
Given the fact that he hit his kid and also threatened for someone not to call 911, I see 5 years in prison.
Hey, I can see this. But, the one that takes the cake...
Actually, there was one more that is the one with the San Fran game, even though they lost in the end. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, no, because Chicago won. But they had one other issue that bothered me. There was somebody there who should have been ejected, but was still playing. I wonder why. They want San Fran to win a Super Bowl. And they're doing whatever it takes.
Now, this one... That one's still alleged and is a case. You're talking about the McDonald thing?
Yeah, I believe so. That's his name. I don't remember. But he was still playing, even though they said, like, you might have committed domestic violence.
Correct.
Maybe I'm being extreme, because you said he's under suspicion, right? He's not actually...
He's under suspicion, and it probably is... It probably is that, and he deserves the exact same fate if he's got more proof. The burden of proof is a lot less from what I understand in that case. I may be wrong, because if I'm wrong, he deserves the Dwyer, and he deserves...
He shouldn't have even played in last week's game.
He deserves the other guy, Ray Rice. Ray Rice is so insignificant to me, I forgot his name.
I don't care about the Ravens. I want them to lose. I hate them. And the 49ers. So I don't. I
But
want the.
see,
I don't know.
see, when people like that do stuff like that, I tend to, block out their names and try to forget that they exist. Because it really upsets me and irks me and angers me that
Well, Bill,
anyone
you
could
can't
do
forget
something
about
like
it
that.
until the case is over.
Right.
We gotta
And
talk about it.
like McDonald, like that McDonald guy, I almost blocked out his name. I almost forgot the case existed
Until I just told you
because
now. They were
yeah,
talking
I
about
tried.
it on NBC. That's why. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
then
he's still
there's
playing.
then there's the one case that will just that really
Oh, the one
that
I want to talk about.
yeah it really it took the Ray Rice landscape and just exploded it.
Yep, the Adrian Peterson one where he gave his child, and I quote unquote, whooping.
Yep.
Now, had it because I never saw the pictures, I didn't say well, I didn't even know what the hell he hit him with. They called them switches. I don't know what the hell that was.
Switches are tree branches. I do have some
Can you give me
uh
a picture? Cause
basically a switch is like a tree branch and just
why
it,
don't they
it,
just call it a tree branch? That sounds stupid. I don't know.
I've heard that term because my African American cousin
He
uh
got hit with those, or she?
she
I don't know if it was he or she. You didn't specify.
yeah it's a she but she said that her father did that.
Well, yeah. Well, this is what he said in his defense at the time. He was saying that that's how his parents did it. If that's the case, was it him? No, Charles Barkley actually said his thoughts on that. It's like parents in the South do that a lot, and it's true. But they had a much more stricter philosophy. And personally, when I was a kid, I'm going to talk about a little personal stuff here because I'm from Texas, and for kids getting spanked, that's common here. Is it bad? Well, it depends on what they're using. I mean, I've heard some kids get spanked with cleats.
That's just
That's bad.
see,
But here's what the most common one. That was the extremist I've heard. The most common was a belt. Is a belt bad? Well, first I thought, of course, if you ask 8-year-old or 12-year-old me, I would have said, yeah, I hate that. I hate my mom for doing that to me. But now that I'm 21 and older, and this is embarrassing to talk about, I was a little shit when I was a kid. And if my mom didn't hit me because I wouldn't listen to her and wouldn't do as she said, yeah, I probably would have came out even worse than how I am now. And I'm pretty terrible right now. But, yeah, I can see why some parents do it. And is it wrong to hit your kids? Well, not really. If you hit them, like, say, 5 times with the belt for doing a bad thing. And I mean really bad. Yeah, that's not bad. A belt won't kill you. It won't leave scars like it did on Adrian Peterson's kid. Because I saw the pictures and they look really bad. I mean, you might have seen what would it be, like a mark, but a belt wouldn't leave a bruise. It just hurt your ass a lot. So if he did this with, say, a belt, because I don't know what the kid did. If I remember, I heard something about the kid pushing another kid off a bike or something. I don't know.
right, I have no idea, but I'm gonna put it this way: I never was hit,
You're
and I
lucky.
wouldn't know what. But I I just, to be honest, I don't see any place for it.
Oh yeah, because you never got hit. But from someone who's grown up and has been experienced that, I see why. I've understood why. Because when I was in high school, my English professor, and he called this. He said, "Did you like it when you got hit?" I said no. He asked everybody, but we all said no. Obviously, or else we're fucking masochists. If we said yes, but and then he said, when you think about it, you guys are gonna some of you are gonna change your opinions because sometimes getting hit might be good because if kids won't listen to their parents and won't do as they say, Like, say, you need to stop doing this. This is wrong. It's like, and if they start getting bad, or somehow it's like, fuck you, mom, fuck you, dad, I'm not gonna listen to you. What are you gonna do?
I'll put it this way. No matter what, kids are going to do whatever they want to do anyway, and
They have to learn.
getting hit is not going to really change behavior. It's just a hide behavior, and it'll cause more aggressive behavior later on.
Maybe that's what happened to me, because I'm getting more aggressive, but mind you, that's because I keep getting in arguments with my grandmother, because she doesn't like that I can form an opinion. But that's irrelevant. But it all depends on how they view it. You're right. I like to think I'm right. It's just a matter of how you want to approach it as a parent. But if you're gonna choose like me, if I became a parent, hit my kid, I'm not gonna do it all the time. Only if they really are doing something bad, and they refuse to listen to reason, I feel I'm gonna have to. But if that does, I have to own up to that. You know what I mean? If you're gonna hit your kid, you do it with something that's reasonable, and nothing that's downright abusive. You don't make a big habit of it, and you, of course, make sure that they do learn. And damn, I can't deliver the big punchline.
I'll put it this way: the worst thing that I ever had was sit on the couch, and sitting on the couch was the worst thing to do, because you want to go out and you want to play with your friends, etc. Oh, you're sitting on that couch for an hour. That was the most boring hour, and you would try any means necessary to get off that couch. And that was our thing. If we got in trouble, couch time, and sit on that couch and be the most bored person of all time. No books, no TV, no nothing. Just sit on that couch. And by 45 minutes, it was mind-bogglingly boring.
You know,
and it's like,
that gave me an idea, Bill. Here's what I'm thinking now. Do you really need to spank your kids? Well, when they're older and they have technology with them. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. I mean, they obviously won't have it, but let's just go with now. Oh, you like playing on your 3DS, but you keep acting like that? Guess what? I'm taking your 3DS away for a day. Until you wisen up. Or I'm taking your cell phone away. Take someone's cell phone, and they'll be the most obedient person ever. They'll do whatever you say to get that phone back. Would that seem more reasonable to you, Bill?
I grew up in a very technological house. I had my own television at the age of like 7. I had the NES in my room at like age 7. So, I grew up with, having access to stuff,
So then take away the access.
And when you took it away, because, I got a little rebellious. I'm not going to say I didn't.
I did.
Take away some of the stuff. And it was like, oh shit, I'm just sitting here doing nothing. This is I am so bored. That was literally the thing. Boredom can cure a lot of things. You're sitting there and you have no access to nothing, and you're just sitting there going, oh God, I am so bored.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got up, or tried to get up, it was another hour.
Oh man.
So it was that teaches you, self-control, And I like to think that I came out pretty cool, calm customer, That's why I always thought that, that sort of style of punishment, while maybe 100 years ago might have been more.
You're saying that there are more alternatives now, so where we don't need it.
there's multiple different ways of doing stuff
Mm.
than just pure on fear.
Fear will control a lot of people.
But fear also breeds hate.
Mm-hmm. Do I need? You're just really tempting me to bust out a Star Wars quote, even though you don't like Star Wars.
Oh my god. Joe, I'll link you a funny dub I saw on YouTube after this now that I thought of that.
Fear will control the planets or the galaxies or whatever. That's true. Fear will easily control someone until they choose to be brave and say no, no more. But yeah. But for you and me, that's a difference of how where we lived and how we lived. And that's not a bad thing. Because there are people who agree with me and disagree with me, that's fine. But it's just
I'm a northern guy, you know. I mean, we all we're all a product of our circumstance, and we're all a product of the area we grew up
Well,
in.
I'm Midwest, though. Everybody calls us South. Ugh. It's all because of the damn Civil War.
I would call you South Central.
We're in the Midwest, and that's it. But
I call
anyway,
you guys the South.
Any-
I call you guys the South Central.
that offends me, Bill.
I'm just a Great Lakes guy.
Yeah, and you're just a northerner to me. At least I'm not calling you Yankee. I don't care about that.
I'm almost Canadian.
No,
I only
but you're
live
not,
like
and that's what makes you inferior.
I live about 20 minutes away from Canada. This is a cool thing.
I live 2 hours away from Mexico. I can get all this cool
Hey.
shit for cheap.
Hey.
And I want a sombrero now, but whatever.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah,
That
all
was-
in the end, it's all a difference of view, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if my advice to those who are fine with hitting their kids, again, don't use something completely over the top and that will downright be brutal, like a fucking tree branch. If they used that on me, the tree branches that were around my mom's house had little spikes on them.
Why you think they use them?
That would have probably killed me.
And
But yeah.
Why do you think that some of those marks were left? You're talking a 220 muscular guy hitting a 4-year-old.
Yep, who was probably used to slamming the football on the ground when he gets a touchdown. But anyway, yeah, you just use the belt and only hit them a few times. Don't go 20 or 100. If you do that, you're going to jail, and you probably deserve
I
it.
mean, that really.
You know I'm just exaggerating.
It sort of screams to me, Adrian Peterson's thing, is that he has an anger problem.
Exactly, and that's what I said at the beginning. If people who have anger issues definitely need to seek help, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has problems, and that's okay. The first part of fixing your problem is that you're aware that it exists, and you're not hiding it anymore. You're not denying it anymore. You need to face yourself. I probably will insert Persona 4 music right there. But, yeah.
Really, Adrian Peterson hasn't admitted it to himself, and he's not going to.
Well, the court's gonna make him admit it whether he wants to or not, and it's as simple as that. The guy may as well plead guilty.
He deserves jail time himself. I'm sorry.
Well, all of them do. If that San Francisco guys too. If they do prove it, but I'm pretty sure they will.
Without any evidence, I can't say anything because I've not read up on it. But
I'm just saying if there is right now.
Right now, I would be very, very comfortable in saying that he deserves to be suspended, and depending upon evidence, I'd be cool with him going to jail too.
So he'd be suspended until they can until they finish their investigations.
Yep. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah. So to finish on the hitting your child, and if you intend to do that, you better be ready to pay out for the consequences and make sure the kid learns upon that from a positive view and not a negative. because like I didn't want to hit you because I hate you. I do it because I care, and it's because I care I'm willing to, because like it's gonna hurt me. It hurts me too to hurt you. You know what I mean? My mom broke down and cried to me about this when we were older. She told me that, and I could actually. That's where I started to understand. And hell, I don't like my mom still. I still don't like her for doing that to me, but I still care for her. You know what I mean? Even all the same,
Yeah.
I still love her, and I won't let people get away for talking shit about her. Even my own grandparents, and that's because they raised me more. Because it's like my mom has some shit too. She wasn't perfect, but that's all different stories. But yeah, just be ready to own up to it and show your child that you didn't want to do that because you hate them. Because that's how I viewed it as a kid, and a lot of people. My brother did too. He thought that our mom did that because she didn't like us. But if you have to clarify that right away before that happens, like I'm doing that because I care, and I don't want you to become bad. As she said in her own words, I don't want you to be bad like me. I don't want you to keep doing what my family's been doing since as far as she could remember. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I think we'll leave it at that, just to end it on a good enough note. But
Okay.
all in all, domestic violence, if you're a professional, you don't have that utmost celebrity status, but you still have that type of status. You have a role to fulfill, and you should not impart negativity like that at all. You get caught doing that, you don't deserve the right, no, the privilege to play in a professional sport. This doesn't have to be NFL only. NBA, Major League Baseball, anything. That shit shouldn't happen at all. And if you do it, say your goodbye to your professional career.
I
You agree with that?
and it totally. And with the other thing is, as a society, we have got to stop accepting it.
Mm-hmm.
It has no place in society, and sports is just the beginning of where we can finally stamp it out in a societal
Yeah, because
context.
it's now shown in a way. It's like, yeah, look at this sport you like so much. They're showing proof that it exists everywhere, including around your homes or in your homes. So we should all work to change that, and it doesn't have to be this way. But I don't know. I think we'll leave it
It,
at that now.
it's a difficult discussion, and we always welcome, discussion about,
Yeah, if you
these
know
sort of
anybody
things.
suffering from that, see what you can do to prevent it from happening, or report
Def-
it.
and
Report
and
it.
definitely report it. Reporting is the key.
Yeah.
Never,
If you see signs
never,
of it
never
that it could happen, prevent it. Talk to the both sides if you have to prevent it.
call.
And if it's
No,
happening, call.
just call the cops. That's all that needs to happen. Don't allow it to
No,
happen.
I'm saying if
Call
it
the cops.
hasn't happened but you think it might. You need to check, hey, is everything alright? You two seem to be fighting a lot.
Right. No, I get that, but no, if you see it happening,
Yes, then
you got
absolutely. You have to call the
you
cops at
got.
that point. There's a scuffle going around in a household. You have to call.
But now taking kind of switching gears.
Yeah, so now that we talked what's happening around the league, let's go in the league in about week 2. So,
Oh
this
man,
is really awkward to come off of. I told you, Bill, we should have talked about this last.
it's it was better to do it first because it's a it's a charged thing, and to do it last would be sort of like trivializing it,
Yeah.
Whereas we focused on it, and that it's a very important societal thing, and to go to the games, which are really the trivial matter, is a better thing because really, the games right now are trivial compared to the issues that are
hmm
more prevalent within the actual NFL.
Yeah, because, well, these guys are role models to adults and kids, and if kids see that, they're gonna think it's okay, so you gotta make sure, yeah,
Exactly.
it's not okay, and keep reminding, because remember, humans are prone to repeat the bad things. It's you just need to look at world history, and there you go. There's my proof.
Yep.
But anyway,
But
I think. Do you mind if we take a little break so I can drink? My throat will kill me. We'll be killing me
yeah,
soon.
I'm gonna get something to drink as well.
So we'll be
Hold
taking
on.
a few minute break. So see you guys in a moment. All right, we're back. We're gonna start talking about the games. We have our minds more composed. And well, Bill, we're talking about your game first. So I should have stuck with what I said at the beginning of the season. The Lions were going to lose. I shouldn't. I was very emotional about them beating the Giants, but of course they were going to beat the Giants. Of course they were.
I mean, theoretically, every game in the NFL is a war, and really, the Lions' defense played well, and they played well enough to win. The offense did not carry really any weight. They had no running attack, and without running attack, you're not going to win. And
Yeah,
they
there's
didn't
proof
win.
of that too. I have proof with the next game, but continue.
Without running the football, the Lions in the first 2 weeks of the season have 42 yards rushing. They're lucky to win one because, God, the New York Giants defense is god awful.
Oh yeah.
But
And well, Stafford
If you-
got better as a quarterback. I think he was better than Cam Newton. Even a healthy Cam Newton. I'm not talking about how he was, like, just coming off of an injury.
I'll put it this way: Cam Newton made some really nice throws into some really tight windows.
Yeah, I
that
saw
beat
them.
the Lions.
Those I hate to say it, but I think he earned that victory. That's a
He
well-earned victory.
He earned the victory. It was a 7-6 game in the fourth quarter. It wasn't like it was, a blowout the entire game.
It was a really like neck and neck battle.
It was whichever defense was finally tire out at the end, and the Lions defense tired out at the end. And really, I saw a lot of good things I liked out of the Lions
Hmm.
in that loss, because they put up a fight. They didn't just roll over and die.
Yeah, it was all in all cat fight, but
Yeah. Lions and cat fight. Yeah, I see what you did there.
well, yeah, but I'm sorry, but the Lions are no longer king of the pack anymore.
The, the Lions haven't been king of the pack since the 1950s.
Well, I mean the king of cats.
True. They still haven't been the king of any cats since the 1950s either.
Bill, please. I mean, they're starting to shape up, but I hope they don't fall like how Cowboys are. But I don't know.
Oh man.
Anything else to
Oh.
note about the Texans, the Detroit game? Because
Really?
nothing significant happened until at the very end.
It was really a kind of a lackluster game. I mean, really, the biggest thing is what the hell is the matter with the Lions' running attack? What is the matter with Reggie Bush? What is the matter with Joyke Bell fumbling the football 40 times?
Yeah.
What is the matter with them?
You know what
We
else was the
cannot-
matter with? Do you mind
What?
if I transition?
Sure.
Do you know DeMarco Murray? That guy did it again. Bill, I could swear I was watching the Detroit Lions Thanksgiving game in Tennessee.
Huh.
Look, remember, Reggie Bush fumbled the ball when he was going in for a score.
Right.
But after that, Reggie Bush really earned his place and got, like, the best player on that game. He got a trophy from that, right?
Right.
Yeah. What happened here? I mean, minus the trophy part. DeMarco Murray fumbled the ball for the second time in a row. And what did he do? He got so many running yards. He really redeemed himself, getting a touchdown. How many yards? Over 150, I believe.
I think he had 150 or something like that.
Yeah, that was great. I was really happy that he did that, because It's what we've been telling the Cowboys to do for so long. Run the football.
Run the football.
Especially with Romo being shaken up again, because he missed some games along with Dez, or not games, practice sessions along with Dez. Dez with his shoulder again, and then Romo with his back.
I've been begging the Cowboys to run the football, run the football. That's how you win football games. And DeMarco Murray proved it. They kept their defense off the field, and when the defense came in, they were rested and they could play well.
Yep. You just have to make sure DeMarco Murray stays healthy. And you've got something. Romo only throwing the ball when you know you can get it in. But other than that, you just let Murray handle it. Have the line protect him over Romo, because I mean, once Romo passes the ball, they can't do shit to him. He doesn't have to worry.
You have our former Lions offensive coordinator in Dallas now.
Really?
The guy that was there last year for the Lions is now in Dallas.
Wow, maybe he's sticking to that running philosophy now. But I mean, we're hopeful now, but we know that the Cowboys like to try new things all the time.
Like I said, I expect the Cowboys to go 2-14. I said last week that this is their game to win, and they won it. And I think they're going to be 1-7 by time.
Who do they play this week? Oh, the Rams. Okay, I think you're wrong. I think they'll be 3-11. Maybe.
They could go 3-13, but I don't see it happening.
No, they're gonna beat the Redskins one day. I know that, but maybe not anymore because of their quarterback. They lost RG3, and I'm pretty sure his future's sealed because Kirk Cousins has that. He fucking has that football arm. But yeah,
RG3 is overrated.
Yeah, he's not gonna be around. But anyway, I was glad that they gave the ball to Murray. The Cowboys' defense really did good. They're the worst still, but they're not as bad as last year.
I'll put it this way: the team's defense that is on statistical pace to be one of the worst of all time played last night.
Oh yeah, you gave 56 points there, but well, do we really talk about that one, or should we save it for next week? Because that was technically a Week 3 game.
Well, it's a Week 3 game, but I'll just put it that way. The defense that we saw last night, that was probably the worst. That was probably the worst defense I've ever seen in a football game. The worst I've ever seen.
Would have been one thing if the Buccaneers scored enough too, but even so, that's terrible. Oh well, but yeah, you saw how much the Titans got in terms of yardage. I mean, they came off after beating the Chiefs, and I know you say they're not as great, but still, they're formidable at the very least. And you beat one of that some people still considered a contender for the playoffs easily, but you couldn't get past the Cowboys at Tennessee. How many yards did the Titans get? I don't think they got any more than 100.
Well, they have a shaky quarterback in Jake Locker.
Yeah, well, they're still struggling to find a quarterback for them. That's why.
Yeah.
Maybe RG3 could go there. Oh, then
if he doesn't, dislocate or pop something in his knee or something.
It's always in his legs, but
He's gonna need one of those motorized scooters pretty soon to go around on the field.
He may as well, because I mean, just walking might injure him.
They tip him over, and that counts as being tackled.
I mean, you're not so mobile if you get injured all the time.
Yeah, he's an average quarterback
that can run.
With the supreme athletic ability, and without the athletic ability, he's an average quarterback.
Yeah, but
and
I don't know.
I like RG3. I just feel he's way overrated for what he is.
Yep, and I think he needs a better team because he's not listening to the Redskins. I think he needs another identity. But who knows? Somebody might be looking for a quarterback next year.
oh man. Speaking of quarterbacks,
Tom
the
Brady.
quarter Tom Brady, who barely throws for any yards in a just absolute blowout of Minnesota. Thank you, Tom.
Well, remember, everybody in there is getting a loss, even you. I'm sorry,
Yep.
Bill, but everybody's
Oh.
taking a bite. They're gonna bite the bullet once against them. So, but that was just the first of many that's going to get wrecked by the Patriots.
I just want to say thank you to Tom Brady for taking care of the Vikings and sinking their warship. So, I mean, Tom Brady went like B5 and the Vikings go, it's just that they sink their warship and that team just sunk last week.
I was a
They-
little
they-
worried until they scored. Until the scorings happened, then it was sealed.
They had no chance.
It was
The Patriots are just too good of a team. Tom Brady had not been in last place but as a starting quarterback.
he never will. Let's be real. He never will.
That was last week was the only time that's happened. And now that the Miami Dolphins lost, they won, and the Jets lost. The Jets,
But the Bills are number one.
the Bills are still number one, but I can see the Patriots still going kind of crazy and
Well, the Bills are going
winning.
to lose some big games, I know, like especially to the Patriots. So
The
it's going to change
New-
soon.
New England sunk them. The Vikings just are not good.
For the Bills, it's a matter of how long they can hold the first place, so they should enjoy it while they have it, because I don't think they're going to keep it to the end.
I mean, theoretically, they could make the playoffs as a wild card team.
They would be that boom team. They look like they're becoming that boom out of nowhere. We're suddenly one of the best. Their
They-
offense has really gotten better. But anyway,
They could go 10-6 and it wouldn't surprise me.
I see 9 wins actually, and a tie game. But yeah, I think the Patriots are still going to get in, and let's not forget to give credit to the guy who blocked the field goal attempt.
Right.
Who was it?
And then I have no idea, but Chandler Jones picked it up and ran it in.
That was great. That was a nice return. Would that be considered? That's not a pick six, right? It's just a blocked return.
No, it's a field goal block return for a touchdown.
Oh man, that was still wonderful. That reminded me of a person from last week's game, or this other game we're talking about, the Texans.
Oh man.
Bill, first,
Tex-
okay, I'm going to say Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't the best quarterback out there. No, not at all. But you know, he's got good players to work around. And this is a team where the icon isn't the quarterback, but the players around the quarterback, including temporary tight end J.J. Watt, who got his first touchdown.
yes,
That my favorite play of the whole week.
J.J. Watt being that wide open for I mean, literally, he could have threw it 20 yards into the sky and it would have fallen down, and J.J. Watt was still been wide open and caught it. I mean, no one on, I forget who
The Raiders,
Houston played, but
Oakland.
yeah, no one on the Raiders was within like 10 yards of him.
Well, to be fair, I don't think anyone was expecting J.J. Watt to catch. I mean, he's a defensive player. I think when they saw, like, oh, he's going to help block, that makes sense. He's a defensive player. Nope.
Right.
He's living up to that 100 million, and he's going to keep proving that each and every day. Granted, I will praise the Raiders for stopping J.J. Watt from working his stuff a lot, because I rarely saw him hit or sack the quarterback. I think he might not have got a sack at all, just a couple of hits.
Just when Clowney's not there, he's gonna be less effective, in theory.
Maybe.
But
I think they're
I
both
guess-
going to be effective. They're going to wear and tear that offensive line quicker. The only real threat would be the center, but They won't care about that.
JJ's more effective when he's not getting to the quarterback and he's getting his hands up and tipping balls, because the tips typically lead to picks
Or just straight up blocks. But
or straight up blocks.
well, I'm talking about field goal blocking.
Yeah,
'Cause
field goal blocking.
He's blocked quite a few for a defensive player.
knock down third down passes or screen passes. Just, those sort of things you don't see in the NFL.
And that's why I like that he's the icon. I think like I said before, he's a role model. He's going to be a role model for defensive players in the NFL, in college, and in high school. All football at all. They're going to love him because he's really the star of the Texans, in my opinion. There's
Right.
Arian Foster, who did great. I will say, and didn't he? I think he ran the football in for a touchdown from about 40 yards.
Something like that.
And then, DeAndre Hopkins got it, but I'm a little worried. You know how before the season started, Andre Johnson was considering leaving the Texans?
Yeah.
I really want him to keep catching the ball, because even if the Texans really start winning, because I'm not going to really start celebrating until after Week 5 that the Texans are doing great. Well, maybe Week 4 if the Bills win this week's game, because the Bills are really looking something fierce right now. But
Right.
once they beat the Cowboys, who everybody thinks, oh, the Cowboys are still one of the greatest teams, kind of. Some people, just the fanboys. Ha, Cowboys fanboys. Ah, that's good. Gotta write that down. But yeah, once they start beating those iconic teams, then people are gonna start saying, "Oh, the Texans are gonna be a threat again." But I don't know. But what I was saying was, I really hope they keep giving the ball to Andre, because I mean, if you keep giving it to Hopkins, he's still gonna feel the same. It's like, do you guys really need me? You know what I mean?
Right.
I like Andre Johnson. I think he can do a lot, and he didn't get as many catches as the last game. He got 97 yards last week, or the week before, against the Redskins. Nearly 100, but still not quite. And he did get a touchdown. I don't think he did. So I'm just hoping
Not
they
sure.
give the ball to him, even if it's for just short passes. Maybe he'll get it in, because I know he nearly got it in on the first game, but didn't. So Arian Foster
Right.
had to punt. No, I forgot who punched it in. Oh well, but I just want him to keep getting the ball because I want him to stay. He's a Johnson. It seems the Johnsons that are great catchers. Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson. They seem like they could be related somehow. I don't know.
Johnson and Johnson.
Johnson and Johnson, a football company.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
Oh, man.
I'm really hoping that they do great in this week, but we know who they're playing. I know who they're playing, and it's gonna be fun. We talked about that team earlier. So speaking of that, shall we get to the picks?
Indeed. So, I'm gonna preface this and say that the Thursday night game, I was going to pick the Atlanta Falcons as a close game, like 27-20.
Wow. Okay, I was gonna pick a win, but I was gonna pick 30-14. I was off by 26.
And then last night's game happened, and then tears started to fall
It wasn't.
from the
It
sideline.
wasn't Rex Ryan. Is that his name?
It wasn't Rex Ryan. Oh man, but on to the actual picks. It's San Diego at Buffalo.
Oh man. You see, I looked at the games yesterday, and what first came in my head was Buffalo, but then out of my mouth came out the word San Diego. So it's like, I'm gonna go with what I first came up with and say Buffalo. Buffalo's really going to keep that momentum going. They're gonna really try for that. And the Chargers, sure, they beat the champions last week, and that's great and all, because I really like it when the Super Bowl champions of last year that I don't care about really get roughed up a little. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to give them more war scars, but I don't think that doesn't mean shit when the league's actually going. You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
I don't think that
But-
matters until playoffs.
So you're saying Buffalo.
Hell yeah.
I'm saying San Diego.
Really?
Because I think I think Philip Rivers is gonna outplay EJ Manuel. I think
Oh,
both teams will
everybody's
play.
gonna outplay EJ Manuel, but it's just that his other players. That's another case where the players around the quarterback are the more iconic ones, at least in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I just feel that the Chargers just have a few more weapons per se. I'm not saying that the Bills don't have a chance at winning, but that because the Bills have an absolute chance. They're playing in Buffalo. That place is loud. I want to see the Bills succeed. So,
Is it because your name's in their team name?
oh yeah, we Bills always stick together, no matter if it's a team name or.
God damn it, Bill.
Oh man. All
What's
right.
the
So
next game?
next game is the Dallas Cowboys at the St. Louis Rams.
Okay, Bill, here's my question. Is Michael Sam gonna play? I really wanted to play this game just to say, hey, you guys missed out.
I doubt it.
Oh, they need to put him on the field already. They need a good defensive player like him. I mean, Buffalo used really got a good use out of Sammy Watkins in last week's game. I think he got a touchdown
Right.
too. So it's like, come on, let's get Michael Sam. Let's get these draft picks getting some real action already. You know what I mean? They've benched
Right.
so many of them, and I'm kind of bored with that. Like, what's the point of the picks then? What's the point of the drafts if you're not going to use them? So, oh well. Even so, if they can keep giving Murray the ball and eating that clock away, getting so much points, giving the defense, the Dallas defense, like you said, rested up and can go for a 3-and-out. Because if they can't get a 3-and-out, those guys are going to keep going. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if they do that, Dallas will win. If not, Rams might win.
I see this one being a close game. I think the Dallas defense will be out more, and I think St. Louis will defeat the
How
Cowboys.
will it be by like a final field goal moment, or will it just be we outscored them long enough?
I think the Rams will kick a game-winning field goal.
Oh man, you see, I think if it does get close, it's gonna be the other way around because I might just be really biased. I believe Dan Bailey's the best damn kicker here. I mean, people say Hauschka, and I can see where they're coming from, but I just think Bailey's a great kicker. Have you seen how many long field goals he's made? They're wonderful.
Stephen Gostkowski is pretty
Oh,
good for the Patriots as well.
him too. He
But
got so many good game-winning field goals, like the Saints Patriots game where the other brother cried. I have a
Yep.
picture of that somewhere on Twitter. I will go find it.
I am so good. I am so happy that at least one of the Ryan brothers cried.
That was last year. This is 2014. We need to keep the tradition going, Bill. Hit me with your next game.
The Washington football team at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh God. Okay, if they had RG3, if you asked me this at the beginning again, I would have said clearly the Eagles because the Eagles are doing great, way better than I thought. That offense is even meaner without Deshaun Jackson. I don't know how that's possible, but I think now that Kirk Cousins is there and he's got that itchy football arm, my football arm twitches. I think it's going to be a shootout, but in the end, the Eagles are going to win with at the very end a pick off of Kirk Cousins.
Oh man,
Eagles are going to win the shootout,
I believe that this is going to be a high-scoring game,
like me. So a shootout.
and the Eagles will win, and Nick Foles will probably have like 5 touchdown passes. I don't see either team playing defense in this game.
I think it's going to be. Well, I think both of them are going to get at least 3 touchdowns, hands down, because both of their
Yep.
defenses are shit. Zeke, you know what? Screw you
I
guys.
can see the Eagles winning like 37-34 or something like
Yeah.
that.
So, but for me, I'm thinking like if you have that scenario, right as Kirk Cousins throwing, someone's gonna pick it, ruining their hopes.
Right.
Okay, so next game, what do you got?
Houston Texans at the New York
Ah,
Giants.
yes. More wins. Texans win. Jonathan Joseph's
yeah.
going to get a pick off of Eli Manning, just to further prove. Just because you're a brother of Peyton Manning does not necessarily mean you're just as good, because I always used to believe they were both overrated. But Manning has proved that I was wrong. He lives up to that status now. Well, because he's got the team revolving around him. This team does not revolve around Eli Manning as much as it used to. That's a problem that they can't fix in time. So,
No,
I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't think is greater than Eli Manning when he was Super Bowl bound, but even then, I still believe he's overrated. His players are going to get the points. Not Eli Manning or Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think Arian Foster, DeAndre Hopkins, and Andre Johnson are going to each get a touchdown. Jonathan Joseph's going to get a pick six.
I just think the Texans are going to annihilate that Giants defense because it's poor and it's just terrible.
How do you think the great Texans defense is going to do to the Giants offense?
I think they'll score points on the Texans defense, but not enough to come anywhere near what the Texans are going to do to them.
Yeah, I'm saying pick six. Hell, maybe more. I'm maybe just being modest.
Next up, the Minnesota Vikings at the New Orleans Saints.
Oh God, you're going to New Orleans. God bless if you live through that. Saints, they're gonna finally win their first game. As much as it hurts me to say, because I hate the Saints too. Drew Brees and Graham are great together, but I still don't care about that team. I won't deny the talent. I just hate it. Saints.
The New Orleans the Saints. Breeze will throw 4 touchdown passes
it's
to
at home.
Jimmy Graham, and the Vikings will be crying in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, the Tennessee Titans at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh man, another slaughter. Bengals. Bengals are gonna show who owns this house.
The Bengals are just overall just better team in every phase of the game.
Okay, Bill. If it's not Patriots Broncos at the championship, because who knows, it might mess up. It's going to be Bengals and the Broncos for the championship. I won't be surprised if it goes down to that. But I still believe the Patriots can. But if the off chance it doesn't happen, Bengals. Bengals have a mean team right now, and they're ready to go.
So we both picked the Bengals. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, if you asked me this any other year, I would have scoffed and said the Ravens, as much as it hurt to say. But I think the Browns are going to give them a ride. Browns are going to win. But it's going to be the same way, ending with a game-winning field goal or something like that. Something game-winning points.
I see the Ravens winning, but not by much. I see it by like a point. Some weird way that they'll be just a point better, and the Browns will get close but can't finish the deal.
By the way, do you think that they still need Johnny Football? Because this other guy's doing pretty well.
I didn't think they needed to draft Johnny Manziel in the first place.
I think somebody else needed them, like the Cowboys, because Romo's getting hurt more, and that's a bad sign. Anyway.
Next up, Green Bay at Detroit.
Oh, yeah, this is gonna be good. If this isn't America's Game of the Week on wherever it's on, I'm gonna be disappointed. It isn't it?
It's a 1 o'clock.
Oh, never mind. Okay, then I'm gonna go with Detroit. It's gonna be really close because Aaron Rodgers is healthy again. Stafford's is doing good, but it's at home. This is the only chance they really got to beat the Packers. So I'm gonna go with the Lions.
I have more faith, and I'm gonna say that the Lions are going to stomp on the Packers and show who deserves the division. They'll be the only team in first place after this.
I hope so.
Next up, Indianapolis Colts at Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh God, Indy's doing bad too. but they didn't deserve those losses.
Oh,
But I think Indy's gonna win their first game, unless they finally put Blake Bortles and he makes some miracles happen. 'Cause he's still not playing, isn't he?
nope.
See, my point stands. Why aren't they using these draft players? You need to get them experience. What better experience than on the field?
You know what's the funniest part? I thought the Jaguars would be playing a little bit better. They have regressed. I'm picking the Colts to slaughter them.
Unless they put Blake Bortles and he makes some things happen. Assuming he can.
Next up,
What do we got?
Oakland at the New England Patriots.
Oh, poor guys. They're not getting anything their way. Their only hope was the first two games, and I mean, I thought they were going to make Rex Ryan cry, but nope.
Oakland Raiders at New England.
Oh, lo siento mucho. I feel really bad for them. They play against so many recent Super Bowl teams or Super Bowl bound teams. That's so sad. They don't deserve that. It's because they're aligned with the Broncos. These guys aren't catching a break. I'm pitying them. I'm sorry, but Patriots. Like I said, it was only more wins for the Patriots there.
Another slaughter in the making. Patriots.
Next game.
America's Game of the Week on Fox. The 49ers at Arizona.
Oh, I love this one. Oh, I'm going to love this one. Go, Arizona. I want Arizona to win and just shut off the 49ers. Cardinals need to rebound and say, you know what, we're not a bad team. We just had a bad person in the team. They need this win.
I can see the Arizona Cardinals winning and staking claim to being one of the best teams. And then here we go, the rematch: the Denver Broncos at the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle. It's at home. Manny's gonna be off his game. He's not gonna like it. Oh, this is his first time over there as a Bronco, right?
Right.
Ooh, yeah. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the Broncos are going to lose. It might be close, come by the end, but I think Seattle's gonna hold them off. By the way, I'm starting to think Richard Sherman's useless now. I think he just got predictable. I mean, he was scary at first, but now that you had half a year to analyze him, Philip Rivers like, I don't care about you anymore. So Broncos, probably not.
I see the Broncos coming in and winning at Seattle, and I think they want to show that someone can go in there and win, and I think they'll win.
I don't think they'll win. I actually see the Cardinals and the 49ers beating them at their place. That's it.
Next up, Kansas City at Miami.
Oh, man. If you asked me this last year, I wouldn't be sure. Because I was like, on one hand, you have the great Kansas City Chiefs. They were great back then, of course. But against this year's Miami Dolphins, they're packing something fierce. I think the Dolphins are going to win.
I agree. I think the Dolphins will win.
This would have been one of the hardest choices of this week for me if you asked me this last year, because I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. So you went with the Dolphins too?
Yep. The Sunday night game. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, this is to me of different styles of defense. On one hand, you have for the Panthers, you got this new blue blood defense. I'm seeing them doing different things all the time. But as for the Steelers, I think they're still kind of old-fashioned. They have that. They're trying to get back into that Iron Curtain philosophy. So it's really a battle between new and old techniques or the new tricks. But I think the Panthers are going to win.
The Panthers have just too good of a defense, and their offense is acceptable at best. and I think their offense is going to just score enough points and that the Panthers will win.
Mm-hmm.
And the last game this week, the Chicago Bears at the New York Jets.
Oh man, I don't know who I want to win. As much as I want to make Rex Ryan cry, I don't want the Chicago Bears going far. I think those Jets might try to rebound, but I just don't know where this is going to go. I'm going to go and say the Jets are going to barely win. Barely. No pun intended. I just realized I made a pun. Barely.
And I'm going to say that the Bears are just have way too much on offense for the Jets to stop, and they're not. The Bears are going to take off.
And do you hate saying that? By the way,
I do. I really do.
ugh, I know, but I just
I-
have that hope that the Jets will win. Because I'd rather have them win over the Bears.
It's my NFC North and Detroit Lions bias that I want to see the Bears lose to the Jets, but I don't want to see Rex Ryan win. So I'm between a rock and a hard place, and I really don't want to see Rex Ryan win. So I'll accept
Bill,
the
you'd
Bears
rather
victory.
give the Bills or the Bears a better chance at a playoff spot?
They won't have that much of a better chance if the Detroit Lions beat them twice.
True, but I mean, it all depends on what the Lions do with the other games too. But yeah, that's all the picks. This was due
And-
very late.
And we should probably sign out,
Yep,
eh?
I think that's it. Any last notes to say, Bill?
Nope. I think we covered a lot today.
I know we're way over an hour. I hope this saves, but anyway, yeah. I think that's all I'm going to say. I'm just really looking forward to these games. I expect a couple of upsets, primarily in New York with the Jets on Monday night. I think that's my upset pick, the Jets.
Yup. Upset of the week.
All right, I think that's it. So yeah, it's time to say goodbye, Bill.
Alright.
We'll see you guys next
Peace.
week. Hopefully, we'll get this done earlier. All right, we'll see you guys later.